Because right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nightly Sports Call, brought to you by Ireland Contracting. My name is Robby Incmikoski. My maiden voyage on this show, going to be joined right now by Steelers insider Brian Batko. Was hanging out in Latrobe earlier today. Is that right, Brian?
Yes, today, yesterday, the day before that, the day before that. It all starts to run together this time of year when training camp opens, but tomorrow is the team's first off day, so no Latrobe for me on Sunday.
Right, and thankfully you don't need to pick up any mail that you're having delivered to Latrobe right now, right, Brian? And,
no, all set on that. And also, yes, let's go. Big Dog, first sports call with you in the hosting chair. Everybody fill up the lines out there for Robby tonight. All right,
let's hope so. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. You want to talk Steelers or Pirates first? Because we got a lot to go over right now, Brian. What do you think? You want to start with a little baseball, since the Buccos are playing right now with a 4-1 lead, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak? Last time they were under 500 was July 3rd, almost 1 month ago exactly, Brian. We know what the road has been, right? We have an idea of what this has been like. We see the ups and downs. We see the struggles with the bullpen. But Braxton Ashcraft, who had a rough go his last 3 starts tonight, gave up just a solo home run to Jose Trevino in 5 innings pitched, and had a nice bounce-back night, back to his all-star form a little bit. But the bigger story here is a win against a division rival, trying to charge up and catch him for that 4th spot. What do you make of this Bucco team and where they are right now? Not only that, but with the trade deadline coming up on Monday.
Frankly, I was a little surprised to see that they made the trade that they did today. Robby, Camilo Duvall coming over from the Yankees. I think, like a lot of people, I was so, I don't know what the right word is, just almost maniacal laughter, the way they blew that game last night, that it was strange to see them turn around and deal for help. I think a lot of people were worried, or at least maybe reality was setting in for them that, okay, if anything, they might have to sell off some assets if it's just not looking like this is going to be the year. But no, I think they go out and make the most significant move probably for their bullpen so far. I know Duvall has had his struggles, but he was promising at one time for the Yankees, throws really hard. I like this addition more than the other, kind of scrap heap arms, if you want to call them that they've added to try to kick the can on in the pen, but we'll see how he fares.
I remember this guy a couple of years ago when he came up through the San Francisco Giants. He was an all-star 3 years ago, 2023. This guy was one of the premier closers in all Major League Baseball. He was a trade deadline acquisition last year by the Yankees, another deadline acquisition this year from the Yankees here to Pittsburgh. And I texted a couple people around baseball that have been around him, been around the Yankees, been around the Pirates, a couple other places that have watched him. And the prevailing sentiment is this guy in low-leverage situations was able to show dominant stuff, but for whatever reason struggled in clutch situations and just couldn't put the ball in the right place with 2 strikes, gave up a lot of clutch hits at really the most inopportune times, let's say. So, I don't know, maybe a change of scenery does this guy well. What do you think? He has the stuff. He's got elite-level stuff, and we know it. You
took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say, is this is kind of your classic change of scenery move, potentially, for the Pirates. Don't mind at all what they gave up, a couple of minor prospects who are, let's just be honest, not known names to the casual Buccos fan, even as far as prospects go. And I'm sure pitching for the Yankees is a pressure cooker, and there's splits that don't bode well for Duvall pitching at Yankee Stadium. So it's a literal change of scenery for him that might help. But yeah, simply a fresh start for another team that is contending for a postseason spot, but getting out of a place where he's probably got some recent demons that weren't very fun to relive every time he hit the mound. Maybe that's why this move could be a good one for the Pirates.
And you pointed out too, Brian, I didn't get a chance to talk about that, but they gave up a Double-A catcher. You don't know what that's going to happen. They've got catching depth in the Yankees organization. And let's be honest, they can just snap their fingers and get depth anytime they want, right?
Right.
I mean, only a handful of teams can do that. And then the other kid is 18 years old, playing in the Dominican Summer League right now. And, people around baseball refer to that as what they call a lottery ticket at best in that situation. But Brian, when you look at the Pirates franchise just as a whole, where they are in their trajectory right now and how they built for a team like this, right? I don't know that you can let a couple games that have got out of their hands late, a couple days before the trade line, impact what you do when you're trying to just build kind of a master plan. And obviously the bullpen plan didn't go according to script when, they opened up in New York back in late March.
Yeah, and clearly they didn't, Robby. And I mean, at some point, the math needs to start mathing, as the kids say out there. And you have to look at it analytically as a GM if you're Ben Cherington. But obviously, he's not there just yet. Still some optimism. It's not like this is going out there and getting Mason Miller or anything like that, but I like this deal. I like it just like I liked the Jacob Gonzalez deal a few weeks ago. So I will say, I mean, I was talking to one person who knows ball a little bit more than me when it comes to this sport today at Steelers practice, and he was like, yeah, Duvall, he's someone the Yankees were really excited about, and not to be a jerk, but I'm like, that kind of sounds like a Pirate, someone the Yankees were once excited about.
Yeah, and the other thing too is he's got one more year of arbitration left after this. You know what? The Pirates don't like what they see in the final 2 months. They can just cut bait, and the Yankees are picking up a portion of his salary anyway. So really, it's a good move. And you know what? Everybody said do something, do something, do something. Guess what? Ben Cherington did something. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, we want to take your calls, 412-575-2600. We got more coming your way when we return on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. All right, it's time for our Xfinity Post of the Night on the X app, and it comes from our own Bob Pompiani. How about a big congratulations to our own Jared Barton, married his longtime sweetheart, Leah. Jared has been a producer here in the sports department for over 9 years at KDKA. We love working with Jared. I've known him a long time, long before I was able to sit in this chair, and I'm really happy and proud of Jared. What a wonderful guy, great producer, wonderful teammate. Congratulations to Jared and Leah, and I hope and pray, Brian, and I hope you agree with this, I need to see video of Bob Pompiani dancing at that wedding tonight. What do you think?
I hope so. I saw Pomp earlier today emceeing the Steelers Hall of Honor ceremony out at St. Vincent. He did a great job. But yes, congratulations, Jared and Leah. I think of all the times I've been on this show, that's my favorite tweet of the night. Love is in the air. We love to see it. Congratulations,
Jared and Leah. Two wonderful people, and Jared's such a great guy, and I'm happy to call Jared Barton a teammate here at KDK. All right, so you just mentioned the Steelers Hall of Fame class. We got J.T. Thomas, Craig Wolfley, and Kevin Colbert. J.T. Thomas, former defensive back. Craig Wolfley, who sadly departed, left us last year, was a guard. Great guy, great personality. He was my former broadcast partner at the former AT&T Sportsnet. We worked high school football games together, got to know him a little bit, and just a wonderful man with a wonderful reputation, really good player, impactful guy in Western Pennsylvania all the way around with the charities here on the north side, the Light of Life, along with Tunch Ilkin and everybody else. And Kevin Colbert, his resume speaks for itself. So what do you make of this Hall of Fame class, Brian?
I agree with what Team President Art Rooney II said today, that it's a fun debate now every year. I mean, they had their inaugural class where you put in all the absolute slam dunks, the gold jacket type of people. But, now every year there's no shortage of options to choose from. You have new players and coaches becoming eligible every year. But, yes, I think these three very deserving. A little bit more of a throwback class other than Kevin Colbert, who's only been out of the GM chair for a few seasons. But Wolf and J.T. Thomas were, playing before a lot of the people who might be watching this show, myself included. And, last year and the year before that, it was more, 2000s era players. So this was cool to see. And, very fun time today reliving some of those memories.
Yeah, and I want to give a little congratulations, not only to Kevin, but his wife Janice, his son Dan, daughters Jenny and Casey. Jenny's a good friend of mine, done a lot of work with the St. Anthony schools, special needs kids, emceed their event for 6 straight years now to get things started, and just a wonderful, wonderful first-class family. Kevin is a wonderful guy, obviously a great general manager, won a Super Bowl, drafted a couple Hall of Famers. Ben's not there yet, but he's clearly going to get there, so good for him. All right, let's take a Steelers call. We've got David in Finleyville. David, good evening. What's on your mind with the Steelers?
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I got questions for both of you.
Yes.
Who do you see winning the third position in the Steelers as a wide receiver, the third receiver behind DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr.? I'll hang up and listen to both of you. Thanks for taking my call.
I'm going to defer to Brian Batko, and thank you, David in Finleyville, for the call. Brian, what do you think? I mean, you're the guy that covers this team every day. I haven't seen him yet, so what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to give a cop-out answer here to David or anybody else who's wondering this, because it's absolutely one of the best storylines to monitor here in training camp. But I really think both of Roman Wilson and Jeremy Bernard are going to have a role in this offense. Now, as far as who's the de facto number 3 guy, when we look up at the end of the season, who played more snaps? Is it who got more targets? Who had more catches? I don't necessarily know how you define that, but I think there are going to be opportunities for both. I don't see either one, honestly, really separating himself from the other, and it being far and away the number 3 option in this receiving core. But at least so far, I would say Roman Wilson has pole position. He's made some plays. Bernard has made some plays. I think they'll both be guys who can uncover quickly, get open quickly for Aaron Rodgers, and make plays with the ball in their hands.
Not the easiest decision to make either, who's going to be a third receiver. I mean, they're not catching a ton of balls. Obviously, DK Metcalf's a primary target and is going to draw at least one defensive back.
And he's looked great so far. I mean, I think the rapport with Metcalf and Rodgers is also one of the early storylines from camp. I mean, you think back to last year, both of those guys were in a new place. For Metcalf specifically, he gets traded here. He doesn't even know who his quarterback's going to be at that time. So there was a lot coming at him. He didn't have a ton of time to work with Aaron Rodgers in the offseason prior to their first training camp together. So that's probably also a reason why they look like they're on the same page a lot more.
Another caller, a little Bucko baseball talk coming from Brian in Wexford. Brian, what's on your mind, my friend?
Oh, hey, bud, how are you?
All right.
Hey, are you working for KDKA now?
Well, as long as they're going to have me, yes. It could be a one-night stint if I ruin the show. So don't put the bad juju on me.
We're almost there. We're almost to the finish line, Rob.
I haven't screwed it up yet.
No, you haven't.
What's going on, Brian?
I couldn't get on with you last night. My battery went down. My phone accidentally got hung up. But okay, I'm glad I got to get on. Well, I want to first talk about. Well, first of all, I'm glad that Pirates have made some changes and they got rid of that that pitcher that was doing terrible. But I also want to ask. Also, they've lost the last 2 games to Cincinnati on replay reviews. I want to see if you get your take. How would you feel if they changed the replay thing and make it the last play of the game automatically, where they just review it and the manager does not have to challenge?
Well, they could, but when you look at a situation like that, specifically 2 nights ago, Brian, the Nathaniel Lowe play, we kind of saw it in real time, and the Pirates had nothing to lose at that point in time. Same thing last night with Endy Rodriguez in the final strike call. Wasn't a particularly close play at the end there. But look, you can't violate the spirit of the rule in a situation like that. And the replay rule is the replay rule, Brian. I don't know what you think of that, but if you're the Buccos, you have nothing to lose. But we pretty much knew it wasn't going to get overturned. Neither call was getting overturned.
Yeah, it's desperation at that point, and I understand what you're saying, Brian, that you kind of wanted to see it be like the NFL, where under 2 minutes everything is determined by the booth upstairs. So I don't have a strong feeling on that either way. I mean, I think replay in baseball, replay in football, replay in all sports is a little bit of it's an argument, a debate that gives me some fatigue at times. There's human error involved in this, especially in the regular season. I think I can stand it a little bit more when you get into those winner-go-home games.
Right. I want to ask you something else. Something I've always gotten a kick out of at training camp of football. Because the first thing everybody says is, oh, they look good. He looks good, looks good. What the heck does looking good matter in the first week of August, right? So, how do you even evaluate what a vibe is under a new coach, new acquisitions? No team is ever the same in the history of sports, right? You always have additions, you have subtractions. But what kind of vibe did you get just being around this team after 5 days, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, you're right that no team's ever the same from one year to the next. But when you have a head coach in place for 19 years and then you have a new one come in, that's about as jarring of a shift as you can get. Obviously, the front office is the same, and there's so much other continuity with the Steelers. But I'd say these Mike McCarthy practices so far, a lot maybe busier would be the word I would use than a Mike Tomlin practice. I mean, you got 2 fields going. He's got a ton of video cameras out there, so maybe there's more work on the back end for McCarthy and the other coaches. I've seen some people float out there that Tomlin's camp practices had gotten stale or there wasn't a lot of juice. I don't think I would agree with that. I think they were always very physical, chippy practices. That doesn't mean that one way is better than the other, but we'll have an even better feel for how McCarthy is doing things Monday when they have their first padded practice. But he wants it to still be a physical camp, but it seems like he's someone who certainly doesn't want to sacrifice any injury risk just to kind of instill some tackling or some hard-nosed edge to this group.
Mike's been around a long time. McCarthy we're talking about, right? No tackling during training camp. I mean, there's obviously a reason why. You know what I'm saying?
He said he's done it the other way, too, and he felt like he ran his team into the ground.
Talking about Mike McCarthy did previously. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe he even learned a little bit at this stage of his career and approaching his mid-60s. given all the head coaching experience he has in Green Bay and Dallas, plus his time as an assistant. I mean, what do you make of that policy? I don't know. Just as a beat writer, it's been around the game for a long time, Brian. What do you make of that?
I don't think it's a huge deal. I really don't. I mean, even in the Tomlin practices, yes, I think you've heard from a lot of players, especially veterans who came over as free agents and have seen other camps. They talk about how it's one of the harder training camps in the NFL, and it was kind of an old school throwback way of doing things where one of the classic Tomlinisms was you can't box without sparring. Well, I think Mike McCarthy wants players to spar in a different way, and so far that's been more situational football, more of the practicing above the neck scenarios that players are going to have to go through. Now, are they doing it full speed all the time? Maybe not. Are they doing it in helmets all the time? Well, yesterday was a case of no, but they're still trying to install various things, work on fundamentals and techniques. It's just a different way of doing things so far. And like I said, we'll have a better idea of how he brings the physical edge to it next week.
A little bit more coming your way here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call with Steelers insider Brian Batko. That is coming up next. Back on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Brian, about a minute left. Let's talk about Rayshon Jenkins for a moment. You got three defensive backs all on the PUP list. You got Dante Kent, JPJ, and Jalen Ramsey. This guy gave Steelers a little bit of special teams fits last year, the few times they saw him. Where does he fit?
Veteran depth at the moment to me at safety. I mean, they were running a rookie out there with the first team today, 7th-round pick Robert Spears-Jennings out of Oklahoma. I liked him a lot as a pick, but I don't know that anybody saw him with the first team defense early on in camp. Now, again, like you said, that's because Jalen Ramsey is not out there yet. Even somebody like Deshaun Elliott is still working his way back. But yeah, Jenkins will bring somebody in who's been there, done that, and they won competition at every position throughout all of camp.
Day off tomorrow, what are you going to do?
I don't know yet. I haven't really decided. Definitely rest a little bit. And shout out to my dad. It was his birthday today, so maybe we'll see my parents again.
What's his name? Give him a shout out right now.
Shout out Ken. Happy birthday, Dad.
All right, Ken Batko. Happy birthday to you. Brian Batko, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a lot of fun. My very first Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I enjoyed it. Give us a call each night, 412-575-2600. Our thanks to Brian Batko. I'm Robby Incmikoski. Thanks for joining us on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
on KDKA TV and streaming on CBS News Pittsburgh. This is the KDKA TV News at 11.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Erica Stanish, and we started the weekend off with some sunny weather, but there's changes in store for tomorrow. You are looking live at downtown Pittsburgh tonight, where the clouds are starting to move in, and our First Alert weather team is tracking rain and storms. We want to get over to KDKA First Alert meteorologist Trey Fulbright to break it all down for us. What can we expect, Trey?
Well, Erica, we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms as early as sunrise tomorrow morning, but it'll be those subsequent rounds that come in through midday and especially in the afternoon and evening that if they go over some of the same locations that get hit in the morning, that could trigger a flash flooding threat. That's going to be our main threat for tomorrow. We could also see some isolated severe thunderstorms as well into the afternoon and evening. So most of our area blanketed in this slight risk for excessive rainfall, but I think within that slight risk, there are going to be two areas that have a locally higher potential for flash flooding, one in the Laurel Highlands and the Ridges, and then our northwestern counties up across parts of Lawrence all the way up toward Clarion and Forest counties could have a little higher zone for that threat of flash flooding. All of that coming from an area of low pressure out to the west that has produced widespread thunderstorms and severe weather across western Ohio this evening. That band of showers you see across northern West Virginia and southeast Ohio, that'll be the one to reach our area as we get closer to 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Presently, there are a few light showers right now moving across Westmoreland, getting ready to head into Indiana County, and there's also a few more up to the north around Venango and Forest. Temperatures slowly dropping back this evening, but they're not going to drop back too much because of a southeast wind and also our dew points that are remaining elevated in the mid-60s, and that's the atmosphere priming itself for that heavy rain potential tomorrow. So we'll watch one round move in tomorrow morning around sunrise. Then after that, repeated rounds. I'll show you the updated rainfall forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Tonight, a family gathered in McKeesport to honor an 18-year-old soon-to-be mother who was tragically shot and killed in Clairton a couple of weeks ago. KDKA's Jessica Riley joins us as the family speaks out.
Today was supposed to be 18-year-old JL Torres's baby shower, but now today is a day her family will never forget as they released lanterns into the sky, hoping she won't be forgotten. Just weeks after graduating high school, JL Torres was preparing for her next chapter, becoming a mother and planning her future.
She was very excited. It was her first. I was excited for her.
On Washington Avenue in Clairton on July 13th, gunfire erupted in an apartment complex, killing both JL and her unborn baby girl Jaylani, leaving behind her family.
Extremely hard for me and my family and my children.
She knew about God.
It's a stark contrast from what today was supposed to be, opening gifts and the excitement of welcoming new life. But now 2 lives are gone, with family and friends releasing lanterns around her resting place.
Drell was loved, as you could see. Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wants to have to do this.
With no arrests made, now the family's focus is on justice for the teen.
I just hope that somebody can help out and give us an anonymous tip. Well, not only us, the detectives.
While police have not mentioned much on the investigation, her family confirms Torres's boyfriend and the father of her child was found shot dead just 2 days later at a playground in Homestead.
And we are going to get justice for JL. JL was 18. She had a pure heart. She had a whole life ahead of her.